Welcome to the Word with Renee Brown. The Word means wisdom on real dilemmas. That's what I'll be sharing. The purpose of this program is to spread the Word of God and to help people to apply godly principles in everything we do, from politics to business, relationships, family, education, everything we do. Let us do it in a way that pleases God. So, today, I think our first topic, I want to talk about the Sandra Bland case. Okay. Sandra Bland, a young woman killed in the police, in the holding cell in Waller, Texas, Waller County, Texas, after being arrested for, I guess, not putting her cigarette out, because she was originally stopped by the police, allegedly because she failed to use her turn signal. However, many of you have probably already seen the police dash cam video where she clearly stated to the police that she did not use her signal because she thought she was getting out of his way. Nonetheless, the police officer pulled her over, took her driver's license, her insurance. He went back to his car to review her materials, to determine if she had any outstanding warrants or any real reason for him to do anything but send her on her way. So when he returned to her car with a warning in hand, he had decided he was not going to give her a ticket. She was smoking a cigarette. He then asked her to put her cigarette out. And she merely asked him, why did she have to do that? Now, this is where the whole story or people's thoughts about her become a little confusing, contentious. That's just where the issues lie. Well, some people say, well, she should have simply put her cigarette out. Others say she certainly had a right to ask a question. Some say she got loud with him and she was boisterous and she had a bad attitude. But here's what I would say. And again, I'm speaking after having reviewed the dash cam video myself. She didn't yell at him. She didn't disrespect him. She did have the courage to ask the officer, why did she have to put a cigarette out when she was in her own car? Now, one of the central tenets in the Bible, God tells us to be strong and of good courage in everything we do. So, because he's a police officer, should she have not asked him why did she have to put her cigarette out when she clearly has a right to smoke, and smoking is not illegal, at least not smoking a nicotine-filled cigarette? She asked him why, and then he yelled at her to get out of the car. And from there, things went wrong. What did she do to cause him to snatch her or even to yell for her to get out of the car and then to commit to snatching her out the car? She didn't do anything. She had a right to ask, why are you asking me to put the cigarette out? Especially when he was ready to give her her warning and send her on her way. Ultimately, she ends up in the holding cell, and subsequently, she's dead. And now the questions are more about her character, her lack of respect for the officer, than the officer's clear, overzealous, controlling, temperamental, unprofessional behavior. A traffic stop isn't meant to go beyond 10 or 15 minutes unless there is something that gives rise for it to turn into more than just a traffic stop. Here, the officer did not smell marijuana, see a gun. He didn't see anything illegal on this young woman. He did not find anything illegal or improper once he ran her driver's license. So the only thing he should have done was give her the warning and kept going. But instead, he felt a need to try to control her by asking her to put her cigarette out. And when she asked, why did she have to do that, that appeared to threaten his authority. And he commenced to yelling at her. And he immediately grew angry. Why aren't we focused on that? Why aren't we focused on the escalation of the officer's activities that would lead to this woman being arrested and subsequently killing herself or being killed? These are the kind of things I want us to think about. When we hear things, especially for those of you who truly are believers in God, and when you hear about things like this, if your response is immediately, oh, how come the person didn't capitulate? How come they didn't do whatever they were being asked to do so that they could have avoided confrontation or consequences? Well, surely we know as believers, we can't always avoid consequences. In fact, our blessings might be in the challenge or the obstacle or the barrier that's being put before you. So trying to avoid it might prevent you from getting ultimately from getting to your destiny.